today you are in for a special treat as we are given an academic assembly by Mrs. Palmer's third grade class. So please do it.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out here this morning. My third grade class has been working very hard to present to you this morning our assembly called the 13 Colonies. In history this year, we've done a lot. We studied Massachusetts, and then we went back in time to find out how Massachusetts really began and actually how our whole country began. So this is it in a quick speed-through nutshell of how our United States became what they are today. So we hope you enjoy the show. Sit back and relax and enjoy it.
Hello, my name is George Washington. And I'm Martha Washington. George and I are here to tell you the marvelous story of how our country began. It's a story filled with excitement and drama. Dreams of gold, the clash of nations. And best of all, we get to play starring roles. Oh, George, I never get tired of this.
I'm Heath Erickson. Play this land for me and all the Vikings. Excuse me for starting a show here. I know. I visited America nearly 1,000 years ago. I want some credit for being part of the 13 colonies. I was here first.
No, you weren't. I wasn't. Not at all. Native Americans were here hundreds of years before you arrived.
Oh,
Isn't
sorry.
that right, George?
Oh, sorry. Come on, man. Back to me.
In fact, let's take a visit to the eastern seaboard in the 16th century and see what's going on with the local tribes. Here comes the Iroquois, and George, they look happy. They've lived on this land for 100 years. There's no place we haven't been, but something is new. The neighborhood's changed. The Europeans are moving in.
The Spanish are searching the south for some gold. We don't think they're going to stop. The French in the north want timber and furs. The New World's a great place to shop.
Let's move south to Florida and get a closer look at some of those new European explorers of the 16th century. Oh, look, George, I see someone coming. Isn't this exciting?
Ponce de Leon, a famous Spanish explorer, and he's just waiting for you. You don't happen to have maps about the goods, do you?
No.
Some people want the country for others with gold. But me, I want someone to meet the young ones again. I search around every river, though I don't have a else to find the functional juice.
Sure, hope we find it fast. We could really use it.
Now, where were we? Ah, yes. After years of exploration, some Europeans decided to move to this new world. The 1600s brought the British to America. Life was not easy for the early settlers. Yes, in 1607, the English built Jamestown, their first successful English settlement that lasted. Jamestown was located in what became known as the Virginia colony. It was November 1620 when the Mayflower arrived to these lands. These famous pilgrims planned to go to Virginia. They were blown off course and settled here in Massachusetts. It was a very difficult voyage and first winter for the pilgrims.
Mr. Bradford, how can we ever survive? Perhaps we should return to England when your Mayflower sails back home.
The Lord will help us, Mr. James. Nothing possible.
Idiots! Too much! Think of what we're doing!
Have no fear. I stand on set. I bring my friend Squanto. He lives here many moons. He speaks white man's tongue. My name is Squanto. Welcome to Patuxent, the village of my father and his father before him.
I am Miles Gibb, commander of the army of God. This is Mr. Bradford.
Yes, in peace.
How is it that you speak a million times so well?
Twice I was taken prisoner and brought to live in the Riders' Palace. I served as a scout and guide on trips to the New World. While I was gone, all my treasures were heading to Ireland.
was the 13 colonies. Some of these European settlers came here for land and riches, others for religious reasons, while others just thought maybe an exciting adventure. And remember, George, those 13 colonies were still under the rule of King and Queen of England. You know, George, I am getting a bit tired. I do think it's time for some afternoon tea. Maybe someone else can take over from here.
What just happened? I was learning so much. Why did they leave? I know, but you needed the narrator to tell us more. I want to know about the American Revolution. Is that who I think it is? Mickey Ross? Yes, that is someone called my name. Oh, Miss Ross, can you tell us about the American Revolution? Oh, my, it's been so many years.
Okay, let's see. A good place to start is when England defeated France and Spain in a long war.
My dad told me about that. The colonists helped the British defeat the French here in America in 1763.
Yes, especially, and what was a small part of most-day conflict. England became the leading power in the world. Oh, how King George III closer.
Tremendous news, Your Majesty. We have won the 7 Years' War.
Well, it's about time. We've been fighting for how many years now?
7.
That's quite a coincidence, isn't it?
Yes, my lord. Our victory is especially beneficial for our prospects in America.
America, how splendid.
Yes, Your Majesty. We have driven the French out of most of America. The entire north is ours, as well as Florida and everything east of the Mississippi. Our empire has never been bigger. We'll rule the sea. Our colonies are rich and well ordered.
England is the most powerful country in the world.
There's just one little tiny. We are in debt up to our knees. Where do we?
The colonies.
What do they mean by that, Miss Ross?
England was in debt for over 140 million pounds. King George and the Parliament figured the colonies could pay.
140 million pounds?
Pounds is an English money here. The British Parliament placed a series of acts that placed duties and taxes on the colonies. Duties? Taxes, my dear, on imported goods.
I bet that made the colonists mad.
Indeed, my dear, indeed.
This is the last straw, my fellows.
You tell him, Sam!
Did we fight the Celts next? We refused to import English goods and trade. And what did they do?
They should send warships into our harbor.
And did we relent?
Never!
And what about Boston Massacre? Right, the British started to sail clear north of colonies. Did we give up?
Never!
And finally, they had to repeal the Tennessee Act in 1770.
Yes!
But here we are. Plus the tea habits. Are we going to keep paying the tax on tea?
Never!
They've shipped £500,000 of tea to America, dropping down the price of tea. Are we going to buy it? Well, are we?
Come on, Mr. Adams. We've got to have a spot of tea.
Yeah, I mean, we're only human.
And the prices are so low.
Listen to me. Today is tea, tomorrow it's sugar. How long are we going to let the British get us around? It's time for action.
Right!
And it's time we dress up as natives and dump those 342 chestnuts into the harbor.
Right!
Hello again. I hope you enjoyed the show. 3P, I'm so proud of you and hope the rest of you maybe learned a little something. And we are going to start our leave ceremony now, so if you'd all just sit quietly. We're going to start with my class, and then Mrs. Zerkovic's class, as well as the 4th grade teachers have some leaves to present. So I'm going to call up this morning Quinn, Evangelina, Jake, Tanya, Jonathan, and Mitty. You might not recognize them because they're in costume, but this is Quinn. Quinn is receiving this leaf today for exhibiting temperance. More specifically, for the patience, obedience, and self-control he displays each day. Quinn has many friends and enjoys socializing, as most kids do. However, Quinn demonstrates excellent self-control in the classroom. When others around him may be off task or chatting, Quinn is usually one I can count on to be doing the right thing at the right time. Resisting the temptation to talk is not an easy thing, especially when others may be trying to get your attention. I am very proud of you, Quinn, for all of your efforts and accomplishments this year. You are a very cherished member of 3P. Evangelina is receiving this leaf today for demonstrating fortitude. More specifically, for her determination, perseverance, and good citizenship. Evangelina is an extremely hard worker. No matter how demanding an assignment may be, she does not give up. She will try to work out any challenge until she has completed it to the best of her ability. This is a very admirable quality to possess. Evangelina also demonstrates the qualities of a good citizen. She is thoughtful, respectful, and an excellent role model in our class. When I ask for things to be done Q and Q, which means Evangelina is always a perfect example of what that should look like. Evangelina, your strength of character is very commendable. Congratulations. And here we have Tanya. Tanya is receiving this leaf today for demonstrating prudence, more specifically for her drive and dedication to always do her best. Tanya cares about her work and it shows. If she makes a mistake, she takes the time to understand her errors and learns from them. She shows pride in her accomplishments, as she should. Today we all had the pleasure watching Tanya transform into Betsy Ross. I am so proud of how responsible she was in preparing for this role. She took the time to memorize all her lines and really get into her character. Tanya, I am so proud of how much you have grown and accomplished in 3rd grade. Your drive and work ethic is going to help you accomplish great things. And under here, we have Jake / Paul Revere / Silver. Jake is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating justice, more specifically for the kindness, compassion, and generosity he displays towards his friends. Jake is someone that truly cherishes his friendships. He is always looking out for his comrades and will go out of his way to help a friend in need. His loyalty and affection to his best buddies is quite evident. Jake, this is a very endearing quality. Your kind heart and affection is sure to bring you and many others much happiness. Jonathan, our very handsome Governor Bradford, is receiving a leaf today for demonstrating temperance, more specifically for the amazing organization and good work habits he practices at all times. If there were an array of nameless papers put before me, I could easily pick out Jonathan's. All answers would be filled in, all work would be well organized, and the writing would be meticulous. This careful and precise work is always a pleasure to correct. When we clean our desks on Friday afternoons, this task doesn't take Jonathan very long at all. He doesn't have to do it, because his desk is already neat and orderly. I do believe an organized student is a successful student. So Jonathan, I see much success in your future. And here's Ben Franklin, or Nitty, or Nid the Kid, as she likes to be called. Nitty is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating fortitude. More specifically, for the enthusiasm and optimism she portrays in school. Her charisma and spunk are a gift to any classroom, whether it is something she does, says, or maybe that contagious laugh of hers. She brings a smile to my face every day. As a teacher, there's nothing better than to see the pride and happiness learning can bring to a student. Nitty will often say, "This is fun," when completing an assignment, or become very enthusiastic when she gets something for the first time. It has been so much fun to have Nitty in class this year. Keep spreading the joy, Nitty. One more round of applause for my class because I love you. And here's Missy Dover.
So beautifully. I'm so proud of you. Well, boys and girls, I'm back, and I'm really sorry that I missed Mrs. Dwyer's assembly the last time, but as you know, I was recovering from my ankle. So today I have 10 students that I need to give leaves to, so I want you to be nice and patient while they all earn the respect that they will be receiving. So can I have Evan Collins come up? Can I have Katie come up? Katie Zersing? Kate Lynch, as I get them always mixed up. Katie, you're first, and then Katie. Justin is getting a leaf. I think he knew that, though. Ananya's getting a leaf. Zoe's getting a leaf. Hansi's getting a leaf. Ava is getting a leaf. Be patient. Lauren is getting a leaf. And finally, but not last and least, is Giovanna. Evan is earning this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for generosity. Evan is receiving this leaf for generosity. At the beginning of the year, Evan and I were setting goals. When Evan came to me with a fantastic idea, Evan asked if he could set the goal of earning 25 yellow tickets in a week. Not an easy feat if you ask the class. When I asked him what he was working for, he told me he was working to earn every student in the class a Jolly Rancher. Do you remember that, guys? Yeah. When Evan did work very hard, and every student in the class received their Jolly Rancher that week, thanks to Evan. It is a moment I will never forget, as this amazing student wasn't thinking of a prize for himself, but for his fellow classmates. I love having a delightful child, caring, and very funny, right? Katie is nominated and leaf in the Forest of Virtue. The virtue Katie exhibits is fortitude. Katie is earning this leaf for optimism and perseverance. I love every morning when Katie walks into the classroom. She always has a fun, upbeat story to tell me. Or now, it's flowers from the playground at morning fair. If she finds the goodness in everything from her new clothes, or sneakers, to what happened the night before. I am so thrilled on those occasional Wednesdays mornings when she comes to me with work from her completed from her orange folder. Catching up on unfinished work right away makes both of us very proud. Katie is a joy to have in class, and I'm going to miss stories of her Uma, which is her grandmother. Kate is being recognized for generosity too. Kate is generous without expecting anything in return. Kate, along with her other friends, has been cleaning up the playground area during recess. Have you noticed 2 girls walking around collecting trash? Yeah. For the past 2 weeks, Kate and Leah, her other good friend, put on their surgical gloves and a trash bag in their hand and go outside to collect trash. It is so nice to see how excited she and Leah are about coming in with a huge bag of trash. Very good. Although Kate is quiet and shy, as you can see, she helps her friends get along when they are having friendship problems. She is a pleasure to have in class, and I love that she's courtyard now because I get to spend more time with her. Justin, who knew he was getting his leaf because I accidentally put it up on the board yesterday when I had the computer plugged in. So here we go. Justin is receiving his leaf in the Forest of Virtue for Justice. Justin, Justice. All of the kids in class will tell you, Justin is the smartest kid in class. Don't you guys? Yeah, all the time. But you would never know it when working or talking to Justin. He is so calm, easygoing, and is mature beyond his years. One thing the kids don't know is that Justin works very hard to do so well. He takes time to double check his work, and he is never the first student done with his work. I am so impressed with Justin's work ethic and the way he takes pride in all he does. He is a pleasure to have in class, and I love his smile and very quiet laugh. Good job. Ananya is earning this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for fortitude, more specifically perseverance and for optimism. Ananya is a quiet and sweet student. She works very hard to keep up with her studies, especially when she gets back from a vacation week in Disney World. When she came back from Disney World, she didn't complain or groan about the work that she was going to have to make up. Ananya did all the work and had come back to me within just a couple of days. Ananya has a beautiful smile on her face, and she always is willing to answer or ask a question. She is a delight to have in class. Zoe, you have to be quiet now, okay? Don't be yelling out. Zoe is being recognized for courage. Zoe loves to participate in class discussions. She's very knowledgeable and has insightful answers and questions. However, at the beginning of the class, I could very, very carefully hear her voice. I could barely hear her voice. Over the course of the year, she has blossomed. She is now reading and answering questions with confidence. She is no longer the quietest student in class either, is she? Right? We figured that out yesterday. I can see on her face that she is proud of herself as much as I am proud of her. I truly have gotten to know and appreciate all that Zoe has given the class and my teaching. I am looking forward to the rest of the year as she continues to find that voice. Thank you. Hansi, my friend. Hansi. Hansi is being recognized for prudence. Hansi has been making fantastic choices this past term. I have been so happy with the way he is handling himself. Hansi has been double, triple checking his work and now doesn't rush to be the first student done. Hansi's grades have improved so much since he has slowed down. Last month, I purposely put Hansi at a team with a student who is very shy because I knew that he would be a good influence. Hansi he was so generous and sweet with working with this student. I could not be more proud of Hansi and love having you in class. I also have to mention that he is now my official Google Chrome specialist because I'm struggling. is an amazing student. Unfortunately, she has been sick a lot this winter. It seems as soon as she starts feeling better and gets caught up on her work, she gets sick again and she has to start all over again catching up on her work. I have never, ever heard her complain, not once, nor has she not turned in any of her work. At one point, when she came back to school, she had all her work completed, and she even said, I can take the weekly test for selection, grammar, and spelling. I am so proud and honored by the determination of such a wonderful student. Thank you. Lauren, oh, Lauren, you is a wonderful, wonderful person. I am recognizing her for being a trusted friend, classmate, and student. Lauren makes those around her feel happy, at ease, and in a good mood. She can easily be seen laughing with a girlfriend on their way to recess, or helping with somebody in their classwork, or being an awesome student getting all of her work completed all the time, on time. This leave is not necessarily given for one thing that Lauren has done, but for all of the things that Lauren has done over this past year to make those around her feel happy. As it makes my day every morning when I get to stand her planner, because I know she's here. Thank you for being here. Giovanna is being nominated in the Forest of Virtue for justice. Justice is defined as taking responsibility for the well-being and showing fairness without expecting anything in return. Giovanna lives by these character traits. Throughout this year, Giovanna has been the navigator of friendship issues and has taken on the leadership role of managing the interactions of her friends. I love the maturity and kindness that Giovanna shows in making sure everyone is happy and getting along. I know she is a cherished friend. Giovanna is also a cherished student. When I came back after my surgery and accident, it was Giovanna, along with Zoe, who was my official ice pack runner. I don't know what I would have done without her helpfulness, as you can well imagine, and she imagined. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, that's all for me. I believe that Mrs. Yes. Okay. Mrs. Condit is going to go next. Yep.
Hello, good morning, third graders in 3P. I have to say, I am blown away. What an amazingly creative, funny, informative assembly. Really, really good job, so congratulations. I have 6 awards to give away today, so I'm going to ask you to please, I know it's been a while, but remain patient as we get these out. So, Carissa, please come join me. Vignesh, Annabelle, Shreya, Christian, and Riley. So this is Carissa. Carissa has earned this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating fortitude. Carissa greets every day with a smile, and she ends every day with a hug. She has the most positive demeanor, and it is truly infectious. Carissa greets challenges in the classroom with this same optimism. 4th grade is a challenging year academically, but Carissa has shown immense perseverance and determination to work through every challenge she has met. Carissa, I truly admire your positive attitude and determination. These qualities are sure to bring you success in whatever you set your mind to. Next is my friend Vignesh. Vignesh is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating temperance, more specifically for the self-control he demonstrates each day in the classroom. Vignesh sets a great example for others by consistently showing respect and optimism in the classroom. He is often being called upon as a model student for transitioning from one task or activity to the next quickly and quietly. He is always courteous and shows what I call a good listening look, which is a great sign of respect. Vignesh, I admire your self-discipline, and I'm so glad to have you as a part of our class. Next is Annabelle. Annabelle is receiving this leaf in the Force of Virtue for demonstrating fortitude. Annabelle is a very determined young lady. When she puts her mind to something, she will accomplish it. A perfect example of this tenacity is the creation of our class newspaper. Annabelle and a few friends approached me at the beginning of the year to ask if they could start a class newspaper. Annabelle worked hard writing, editing, and even marketing our first installment of Condon's Current Events. She also shows great leadership skills. It is amazing how Annabelle's infectious enthusiasm and determination can make others want to join her cause. Annabelle, I admire your drive, and I know it will bring you much success in years to come. Next is Christian. Christian is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating temperance. I am so impressed by the maturity I have seen in Christian, specifically over the past few weeks. I see him making good choices and showing discipline, even when others around him may not. Every day, Mrs. Lockhart and I see Christian come right into class, sit down at his desk, and start his morning work. While others may socialize, I can always count on Christian to show the self-control to put his work first. He completes all of his assignments to the best of his ability, no matter what is asked of him. Christian, keep up the hard work. I am so proud of you. Shreya, I have two things to say. It's an inside joke, because every time she comes to my desk, she says, Ms. Condon, I have two things to say. But I have more than two. Shreya is being awarded this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating prudence. Shreya has sound judgment in the classroom and can always be counted upon to make good choices. She is a role model to others for consistently demonstrating a strong work ethic and greeting challenges with enthusiasm. I can always count on Shreya to do everything to the best of her ability. She is never one to take shortcuts. Whether in her schoolwork or her extracurriculars, she puts 100% into everything she does. Shreya, you are truly a wonderful addition to our class, and I am so glad to have spent this year with you. And last but not least, of course, is Riley. Riley is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for demonstrating prudence and justice. I can't say enough good things about my friend Riley. She consistently shows a strong work ethic and dedication to her schoolwork. In fact, Riley is often the one to come to me to seek extra challenges in class, and she persists until she succeeds. I can also always count on Riley to have a positive attitude. She treats everyone with respect and kindness. She is fair and loyal to her friends and always shows compassion when interacting with others. I think Riley's second grade reading buddy summed her up best. He made a point to stop me this past week to tell me that Riley is really nice and the best buddy ever. And I couldn't agree more. I am so thrilled to have you in class this year and know that your hard work and kindness are sure to take you far. And last but not least is Mrs. Dwyer.
All right. So, Ms. Palmer's class, you've gotten compliments all over the board today, but I have to say, fabulous job. My fourth graders back there definitely enjoyed all the costumes and all the facts that you taught us, so excellent job. You should be proud of yourselves. Also, to the rest of you, thank you for being so patient and such great listeners and model students while we go through all of these leaves today. Can I please have Garrett from my class, Hannah Hogan, Mason, Ava, Luke, and Tommy please come join me up here. Okay, we're going to start with Garrett. Garrett is receiving this leaf for exhibiting prudence. Prudence means having good judgment in a situation and making good choices. Although Garrett thoroughly enjoys the time with his friends, he's able able to walk away if friends are not making such good choices. There have been a few situations where he chose not to participate in one activity and join another because he knew that either the rules were not fair or that it was not something that was a good choice. I'm so proud of him for sticking up for himself and not going along with the popular decision. This shows great maturity, and I'm very proud of how mature Garrett has become this year. I look forward to seeing the benefits of these great decisions Garrett is making, and he is a great addition to our class. Oh, it's okay. Next we have Hannah. Hannah is receiving this week for exhibiting justice. Hannah is a breath of fresh air in the classroom. I never see her without a smile on her face. She is constantly offering to help others or to make sure they're okay. I've never seen someone so compassionate about other people's feelings. She wants to make sure everyone else is okay before even worrying about herself. I have witnessed Hannah on numerous occasions cheer up her friends and classmates and me just by complimenting them or asking about their day. She loves to share exciting things that she reads or experiences and has a true love of life. I'm so thankful to have Hannah in our class this year, and I know her compassion and justice will lead her down a path of great opportunity. Mason is receiving this piece for exhibiting justice. Mason specifically shows generosity on a daily basis. He is a student in the class who is quick to offer something to another student in our classroom. Whenever we have silent reading time, he is always willing to offer a great selection of books to someone in the classroom. There are even times that he has not had a chance to read the book yet himself, but offers it to a classmate because they know how much he wants to read it. Mason is also a great group leader in our reading groups. He sets a good example for other students around him, and I can tell he enjoys his role. But on occasion, he's offered that role to another student who hasn't had as many chances as he has. This shows true justice and generosity, and I'm proud to have this positive example in my classroom. Now you're throwing it off a little bit. Tommy. Tommy is receiving this leaf in the forest of virtue for exhibiting temperance. Tommy is a model student in the classroom. He's someone I can constantly count on to listen to directions the first time and to be ready. He only needs to hear the directions once, and he's already completing that task. I can also count on him to remind his classmates what the directions were. He is always attentive during lessons and is an active participant in class discussions. Tommy is a great friend and classmate and is willing to help out others if they need it. He makes excellent mature choices that result in him being such a great role model in the classroom. I know that Tommy's work ethic, self-control, and great manners will lead him to great things. And I thoroughly enjoy having you in the class this year. Thanks, Next we have Luke. Luke is receiving this leaf in the Forest of Virtue for exhibiting fortitude. Luke is constantly looking for another challenge in the classroom, specifically in math. He completes his work, and the first question I am asked is, can I have a challenge paper? I know how to do this. As a teacher, I love to hear this question. I'm always thrilled when a student understands the concept and looks for an additional challenge after they've completed their required assignments. Luke also demonstrates fortitude by showing loyalty to his friends. He is aware if there's a conflict in the group, but just never wants to tattle on his friends. Luke does a great job of explaining a situation from both points of view. He's able to sit down with me and we talk about possible solutions that would hopefully please everyone. This is a great strategy to approach a problem, and I am thrilled this is how Luke handles these conflicts, and I love having him in class this year. We have Ava. Ava is receiving this leaf for exhibiting fortitude. Fortitude is the courage to overcome challenges and persevere through difficult tasks. I've seen Ava's confidence grow so much from the beginning of the year to now. Topics or assignments that may have been a little challenging are now completed in a very short amount of time. Ava works very hard in class and always asks for help if she needs it. She really wants to make sure she understands everything we are doing. I have seen her progress from those challenging assignments to now offering to help others because she's already finished with her work. I'm thrilled to see this progress being made, and I know will continue throughout the remainder of her education. And I am thrilled you are part of our class this year.
the end of our assembly. Another round of applause for 3P. Thank you to our guests. Thank you for coming. We can start dismissing with grade 5 going out the back and grade 4 going out the front. Thank you so much. Have a great day.